welcome to you on this first day of Ramadan. Let me say Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you, Ramadan Kareem. I wanted to share just a few words and a few pieces of advice, humble advice, from a very personal standpoint, both as a mind-body practitioner specialized in managing stress, in behavior change, and as a practicing Muslim who for the past 15 years I've been walking that path, seeking truth, oneness, and compassion. And the idea here is like to understand that message is both for Muslims who are engaging in that holy month. May you have, a blessed month. And also for non-Muslims who somehow are also in seclusion. Let's face it, with COVID-19, a lot of people right now are finding themselves in a place of seclusion, of introspection, of self-reflection, which is really what Ramadan is, what the holy month of Ramadan is for. These are times of change, whether we want it or not, whether you're a Muslim engaging in the month of Ramadan, and so if you're nothing like me, like, okay, let me try to do a little bit better, to be a little bit better, to engage more in the practices recommended by our religion, or maybe you're somebody who's stuck at home, who's been stuck at home for a few weeks, and if you're anything like some of the people I've talked to, you're trying to get into new habits, new healthy habits. And you may have caught a few bad ones, and that's okay, I'm one of them. But a lot of people are saying, well, let me try something new. Let me try to meditate. Let me try to engage in new healthy behaviors so I can keep myself healthy, or maybe just keep myself sane. So how to engage in these new behaviors, how to really engage in these practices for your health, for your sanity, for your spiritual enlightenment, for your religious fulfillment, whatever it is that your motivations are. And here the starting point for me is just a conversation I've had with my 11-year-old son, who told me, well, you know what, this Ramadan, I'm gonna start praying 5 times a day, and this and this and that. And what I was excited to see his, excitement, it's like Christmas, right? For those of you who are not familiar with Ramadan, we're not Muslim, we don't know that many Muslims know that Ramadan is just like Christmas for Muslims, right? So there's feels like Christmas for Muslims. And so there's a sense of excitement, there's a sense of change, there's a sense of opportunity to do something differently. There's a change in the routine. And so my son was like, okay, I'm gonna start to pray 5 times a day. And my response, both my response and my wife's response to him, we both agreed, even though we didn't have that conversation at the same time, that response was, just set yourself a small goal. And so that applies for my son, that applies to all of you out there who are trying to engage in practices or to sustain practices, to create change in your behavior. Start small. And for that, there are 2 main points, or 2 main researchers I'd like to mention. The first one is Dr. Kelly McGonigal. She's from Stanford University, health psychologist. She's pretty high profile. You can just Google her up. And while I was doing a meditation challenge with 10% Happier, there was an interesting piece of information she shared, which was, all right, if you want to engage in behavior change, you need to practice the 3 E's. The first E is enjoyment. That new practice, that new behavior should bring you a sense of joy. If it's a drag, if you hate it, it's very unlikely it's going to stick, right? So find something that you find enjoyable. 2, find something that's pretty easy for you to do. Just like when I told my son, you're not going to go from not praying to praying several times a day. Just start with just one at some point, sometimes when you remember. Find something easy so that if you get it, if you engage in that behavior, then you can engage in some more. But start with something that's easy for you to fulfill. And 3, it's about your environment. And for that, what comes to mind for me is like a client I was working with in one of the meditation group I facilitate. And she came back after the second week and she was like, you know what, it's been much easier for me to practice because I've set up a little place in my house. She had just moved and she didn't really have a place for her to practice. So what she did is she created herself an environment that was conducive to her meditation practice in that particular case. Now, if you want to pray more often, you want to do this, you want to do that, just make sure that your environment, again, is conducive to that change. So, the second researcher I want to mention is Dr. B.J. Fogg's, who, along the same lines, like Dr. McGonigal, was saying, start with something small. His theory is around the tiny habit theory, and you can look at, he's pretty high profile. He's also from Stanford University, and he's basically saying if you want a habit to stick, start small. So if you need, again, think about it. Let me know, what you think. Let me know what you want to engage in, how we can be of support. There are 2 important resources that I want to mention when it comes to behavior change. The first one is Lumos Transforms. I'm part of Lumos Transforms. We have a brand new website. Check it out. It looks fantastic. We help people with behavior change, with nervous system regulation, with embodied change for self and for change in the world. So lumostransforms.com is definitely a resource you want to check out. And also the Healing Studio Online. The Healing Studio Online, we started that a few weeks ago. It's a collective of practitioners. We're offering free or donation-based community events, online meditation, breathwork, guided imagery, yoga, a whole bunch of ways for you to get in touch with yourself, with your body, and connect with people. Right? Connection is the medicine. So, having said that, to all my Muslim brothers and sisters out there, Ramadan Kareem. To everybody else, be well, be safe, good luck, take care, and we'll be in touch soon. Cheers, peace.